Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Daily Rates Live with the Mortgage Calculator. Today, we're going to go over some live rates, and then we are going to do a deep dive into low ratio DSCR loans. Give us just a moment here to go live on all the different platforms. We do appreciate everybody tuning in nice and early. See some comments already coming in there. Got the chat up on the screen. Go ahead and drop a comment in there. All right. Okay, it looks like we are live, so we'll go ahead and get it started here. What we'll do is we'll take the chat off the screen for now, but go ahead and keep dropping comments there. Also drop any questions you have in the chat as we go through our presentation here today. All right, so welcome everyone. My name is Kyle Hershey. I'm the COO of the Mortgage Calculator, joined here by our President Nick Hershey and our sales manager, Jose Gonzalez. We are a lender that specializes in non-QM loans. And what we do every morning on this show at 11 a.m. Eastern time is go through our live mortgage rates, and then we do a deep dive into a different loan type. And today's loan type is going to be low ratio DSCR loans. Our DSCR loans are our favorite here at the Mortgage Calculator, so we'll definitely have a bunch of great options to show you there. But before we do that, we'll do what we do every morning, which is pull up our rates. Definitely been an interesting week and going to be an interesting week. So Nick, let's go ahead and check out the rates and see what's going on.
All right. So we will check out the rates for today. I'll pull them all up on the one screen. So we'll check the rates for today. It is June 13th, just after 11 a.m. So all the standard programs have live rates for this morning. This will be based on a basic scenario, standard single family home, 500,000 purchase price, 400,000 loan amount. That corresponds to 80% loan to value, 20% down payment. We'll use an estimated 760 credit score and an estimated 40% debt to income ratio here for all the demos. That way we can compare the APR across all of the different programs. If you'd like an itemized loan estimate that breaks down all of the fees that go into the APR, please get with our team members. We have over 300 loan officers to help you out. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. And we'll check it out. So the market's about the same as it was yesterday. So for the standard programs, but we do see some changes in the non-QM. So first up for our standard options, most popular program, typically a conventional option for our primary home borrowers. Rates as low as 6.49 today. Final APR 6.815, right about the same as it was yesterday during the show, which is much better than it was the last couple weeks. And if any reason our customer doesn't qualify for a conventional option, the next option we want to present is typically an FHA option. FHA allows more leniency on credit events as well as a much higher debt to income ratio, but it does require mortgage insurance. Today, FHA comes in at 5.625 rate, final APR 6.594 with all of the upfront and yearly mortgage insurance that is required. So if our customer qualifies for both and is willing to do some mortgage insurance, this option for FHA might be a touch better if they qualify for both, but our customers that need to use it, definitely a good option. You can see it's very comparable to conventional. And moving on to our VA options. VA is only eligible for active service members and veterans. If you are eligible for the VA programs, absolutely amazing. Rates as low as 5.75 today. Final APR comes in at 6.055. So notice this blows FHA and conventional out of the water when you compare. So definitely a great option for our eligible vets and service members. And our final agency government option, USDA. It's only eligible for properties in USDA areas, typically rural areas of the country. If the borrower is eligible and the property is eligible, these are amazing programs. USDA comes in today, 5.375, final APR 6.125, including all of the fees. So notice if our customer is comparing this to an FHA, USDA is better, as well as better than a conventional option. So for those that do qualify and looking in those areas that do qualify, definitely an amazing option to have. And moving on here, most other banks or lenders would only have those 4 standard agency or conventional options. However, we have over 5,000 additional options here where other banks or lenders would have to deny that customer. First up, our non-QM alt-doc program for a primary home borrower. This has come down a touch from yesterday. So this is typically a bank statement or similar. Rates today come in at 6.99, final APR 7.322. So notice we're within about a half a point of conventional. So if our customer doesn't qualify with conventional docs, we need to use alt docs. This option is within about a half a point. Absolutely amazing. And our borrowers that would otherwise be denied can qualify, along with thousands of other options that we may need to use. And moving on to investors. So first up for investment properties, again, our non-QM alt doc option, probably a bank statement or similar option. Rates come in today 7.375, final APR 7.867. So we'll compare that to the other options. First up is our conventional option, which is the only agency or government option here. Rates as low as 7.25. Final APR 7.597. So notice this is still a touch cheaper than non-QM, but we will see these come more in line probably later this week. And there are no government options, so no FHA, USDA, or VA options for investment properties. But we have our favorite option here next, our DSCR option, stands for debt service coverage ratio. No income or employment needed. We simply use the estimated rents from the appraisal to determine a DSCR value. If the estimated rents can cover the expenses, aka the property cash flows, that's a ratio of 1 or higher. We put a ratio of 1.5 for all the demos here so we can see all the programs. First up is our 3-year prepayment penalty option, which is the most common. Rates come in at 7% today. Final APR 7.342, which you notice beats conventional. Absolutely amazing. And to sweeten the deal, we have a 5-year prepayment option with some programs, which brings the rates down to 6.75, final APR 7.059. So amazing option for our borrowers that want to take advantage. And the final option, some investors do not want a prepayment penalty. No problem, we have options. 7.625 rate, final APR 7.973. So notice that's a touch higher than the conventional options and definitely higher than the prepayment penalty options. So we recommend most investors take advantage of these better rates and terms at the prepayment penalty options. And the final two things we want to go over, very cool options we have for second mortgages. Very popular request these days for people that want cash out but don't want to touch their first mortgage that may have a very low rate compared to rates today. No problem, we can do a fixed rate second mortgage for a primary home. Rates as low as 8.75, final APR 9.204 here. And these programs are non-QM, so they do allow us to use alt docs as well, such as bank statements. And the same program for investment properties. So investors, again, that may have a lower rate first mortgage, still need some cash out, no problem. Better options than HELOCs here. Rates as low as 9.875, final APR 10.207 for our investors that need to get some cash out and want to keep their first mortgage. So these are very cool options. Let's get into our topic for today, which is one that we don't get to do on the live pricer. As usual, these deep dive topics are going to be things that are outside of the standard scenario. So here we'll have Jose go over some of our DSCR options, our favorite options that allow low or no ratio options. So Jose, if you're ready, let's check out those specific programs.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us for Daily Mortgage Rates Live with the Mortgage Calculator. The low and no ratio DSCR products are some of my favorites. They're the real mind blowers to the investors that have never heard of the option where the property can be cash flowing below 1.0 and you can still get financing, right? Those that may have tuned in to our Working with Short-Term Rental Investors training that we recently did know that this is one of the tools. The low and no ratio DSCR options are one of the tools that we use to qualify short-term rental properties when the long-term rent may not qualify at 1.0 and where we do not have any air DNA comps nor short-term rental revenue reports available. 75% LTV, great option for this product. And this product is also available for foreign national borrowers as well. So we do have actually a low ratio and no ratio DSCR option for foreign nationals here at the Mortgage Calculator. I believe those are at 70%. So let me share the purchase and cash out refi options I have for you today. Our first one is at the low ratio, right? That's the one that has the debt service coverage ratio in the range of 0.75 to 0.99. Now, what does that actually mean? That means that when you divide the gross monthly rent by the total housing principal, interest, taxes, and insurance expense, the ratio, the calculation will give you somewhere in the range of 0.75 to 0.99. It's going to be under 1.0. You are not going to fully be covering the housing expense with the rental income generated. Now, this here is with a 3-year prepayment penalty, 75% LTV. Very good options. We are at 8.75 at par and taking that all the way down to 7.125. Pretty amazing the liquidity we're seeing in non-QM, especially DSCR. Not too far distant future, I remember this product was in the high 9s, and now we are in the 8.75 all the way to 7.125, which was not available recently. And that's with a 3-year prepay. Now with a 5-year prepay, it's a real mind blower because now we're at 8.375 as our lowest cost option. And remember, this is 75% LTV. On conventional, you're looking at 80% LTV, full doc, cash flowing or not, but it's full doc, and you are not, you're looking at rates not too far off from these. And then this one, you can buy it all the way down to 6.875, which is pretty amazing for our low ratio DSCR at a 75% LTV. So if that's not enough for you, now we have our no ratio DSCR. This is the one where the property does not cash flow at 1.0 and actually doesn't even cash flow up at 0.75 or above. So technically you could have a 0.2, 0.1, 0.3 DSCR and still get 75%. Loan to value only 25% down. And the rates are good. 9.249 is at par. And you can still buy that down to 7.624. And remember, this is still 75% LTV for less than 0.75 DSCR. No ratio option purchase. So now we are going to look at some cash out refi options. Now, this is not a typo. The great news here is that with our low ratio, 0.75 to 0.99 DSCR cash out refi, we can still attain 75%. And that's actually the LTV that we're also able to attain on the purchase. So this is a very unique opportunity here where the loan to value on a product as outside the box as this one is the same for a purchase and a refi, right? Low ratio DSCR, 0.75 to 0.99, 75% LTV. And look at these rates. 8.99 is par. And you can buy that down to 7.125, which is amazing again because the LTV did not drop by 5 or 10% as may be the case in other options when you're going from the purchase matrix to the cash out matrix. Here we are the same. So definitely Mortgage Calculator is a place to be for your low ratio cash outs. No ratio now, the option which dips below 0.75 does drop to a 70% LTV. And here you are at 9.25%, which is almost at par. And you can buy that down all the way to 7.375%. So as you can see, the DSCR should never be a hindrance to you being able to close your loan, your DSCR loan, unless the borrower just doesn't have the 25% down for the purchase on the, or doesn't have the equity for the refi to do it at a 70 or a 75% LTV, depending if you're low ratio or if you're no ratio. But 75% LTV, definite amazing option for both of these products for the purchase. Remember, great option also for the short-term rental properties. Typically, the short-term rental properties sell for a little bit higher in price, which may affect you not being able to obtain the long-term rent above 1.0 to get that maximum LTV. But if they still want to do the deal, this is the way to go. So looking forward to helping you all structure and close your low and no ratio DSCR loans at the Mortgage Calculator.
All right. Thank you, Jose. I do not see any questions here, but great topic here for today. And again, our favorite product there, the DSCR loans. Still no questions, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Excuse me. Remember, we do this at 11 a.m. Eastern every weekday where we go through our live rates and then do a deep dive into a different topic. So we will be back tomorrow with a new topic, and we appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern, for the next episode of Daily